G'day folks, anyone keen for a nice warm beer? Cheers, bottoms up. That is disgusting. Oh, should be banned. Now look, if there's one thing that big beer marketers know, it's that people like their beer cold and not warm like you've just unfortunately witnessed. Seriously, next time I'm gonna get a stuntman in. It's too dangerous. Way too dangerous. It's a simple fact that consumers enjoy an icy cold beer. And with that thought or image still fresh in your mind, in today's video I'm going to be making a beer tote or beer caddy, but with a difference. This one's actually going to keep your beer cold. I'm getting thirsty. Let's go. To make the beer caddy, all I'm using is this scrap 12 and 9mm ply that I had left over from my mountain bike ramp build. I'll use a length of 25mm pipe with 2 caps for the handle, which I think I'll spray paint black, and you'll also need to lay your hands on half a dozen baked bean cans or something similar. And to finish it off, I've got a sheet of this embossed clear sheeting, which I'll use as the ice tray. Now this is going to be a really easy build, and to make it even easier for you I'm going to leave a link to all the dimensions, tools I use, materials etc. down below in the description box, so make sure you check those out along with all the other goodies that you'll find down there as well. It's well worth a look. Now just a couple of quick tips whenever you're doing a cross cut on plywood, which is where you are cutting across the grain and not with the grain, and that is apply some tape along the line that you're about to cut, and that will help minimize splintering, also known as tear out. Also, have the good side or the side that you want to be seen, have that facing down when you're cutting, and that will also help minimize tear out. Now if we just check that cut out, we'll see how the tear out went, and look at that. That's pretty good. I like it. And here are the parts basically cut out. We have 2 ends, and here we have both sides. Now I haven't cut the sides to length just yet because I'll be cutting a hole into the side of both pieces, and I thought it might be easier and safer to clamp and hold down during the cutting process if there was a bit of length. Now also I'll be cutting a groove along the length of both sides so we can slide the floor in. Beautiful. That's really nice. Beautiful. Okay, it's time to drill the hole for our handle, but I've got a bit of a dilemma. The Forstner bit that I have is a fly's fart too small, and the spade bit is a bee's doodle too big. So I think I'm going to have to suck it up, go with the spade bit and see how it goes. It's a bit blunt, so I'm a bit worried about tear out, but if we tape it, that should help minimise it. Okay, let's have a quick look and see how that turned out. That's pretty good. And if we turn it over, oh, it's a little bit on the outside there, but not too bad at all. Happy with that. The next job on the agenda is to make the ice tray out of this clear embossed plastic. It looks nice and icy, which is what it's all about, trying to create the illusion of coldness. I like it. Speaking of beer, get this, I was in the pub the other day just having a couple of quiet ones when a set of jumper cables walks into the bar. True story. The barman, quick as a flash, turns around, points at the jumper cables and says, "Oi, you! Don't start anything." because they're jumper cables and they start cars and stuff when they're connected. So yeah, it's pretty funny. So yeah, had to be there, probably. So, anyway, I thought it was pretty good. To assemble the ice tray, all I'm using is a hot glue gun, and then I'll finish it off by running a bead of silicone around the inside edges to make it waterproof. And don't forget, before you start gluing, to take that plastic off. Just like that. And we're good to go. Let's do it. Now before you start gluing, just make sure that on the bottom, the ripply surface is facing up, and on the sides, the smooth surface is on the inside and the ripply surface is on the outside. With the box made, I've gone ahead and I've cut a lid that fits very neatly on the top, just like that. And what's going to happen here is I'm going to drill through the top 6 holes to accommodate 6 of these baked bean tins. And to achieve that, I've just got this template here, which I'll simply place on top. X marks the spot for the center of each can. I'll drill a pilot hole through each of those, finish it off with a hole saw, and Bob's your uncle. So there are those holes for the lid all drilled out, but you'll also notice how I've drilled 2 extra holes in the center. That's so that when the lid is on the ice tray, we can fill it with water. Now, as we all know, any self-respecting beer tote or caddy requires its own bottle opener, which is what I have here. But I'm also going to incorporate down below a cap catcher, courtesy of these ultra strong rare earth magnets. And I'll recess those into the back here and then secure with some hot glue. Now when you're drilling these holes, just be careful because you don't want to drill right through the other side here. Righto, let's give it the old cap test. Check that out. Seriously, how many features can one beer tote have? Love it. Okay folks, this is it. The business end. Is this going to work or is it going to be a complete failure? Well, I did come across one major issue, and that was after I've placed all the cans into their holes and then filled the ice tray full of water, the cans just did this. They all floated and went all over the place. It was an absolute disaster. So I thought, what am I going to do to be able to hold those cans down while I fill it full of water and then freeze it? So what I did was cut another lid, the same size as the one beneath. The water holes match up, and then to hold everything nice and tight, I made these little wooden blocks which will fit over the lid and underneath the bottom, and hopefully that should keep everything nice and tight during the filling up process and the freezing process. And here's the setup with those blocks in place, and I've also got one across the center here on the top to stop those sides from expanding during the freezing process. Righto, here we go. Fingers crossed. So far nothing's moving, which is good. Last time when I got to this stage, all those cans had started to pop up. So it's looking good so far. Now we probably need to fill it up to about 3/4 the height of those cans because that ice will expand. So I reckon that should just about do it. Let's see if we've got any leaks. Okay, no leaks so far, that's looking good. I think we're ready to start freezing. Okay, into the freezer it goes, and we'll come back tomorrow when that's a solid block of ice. Good night. Now while we wait for the freezer to do its thing, it's a good time to quickly glue and screw the beer tote together and then finish it off with a couple of coats of clear satin varnish. Okay, come to Papa, my little tray of icy goodness. Check that out. Looking good. So now we can take off all these blocks and hopefully everything works out. Nothing's cracked so far, which I'm happy about. Take off the lid. And there it is. A solid block of ice to put in some lovely cold beers. Beautiful. Hopefully this still fits inside the caddy. Alrighty, in it goes. Oh, it still fits. That's good so far. Plonk it down inside. Oh, look at that. I am stoked. Check out that frosty, icy cold window. How good does that look? Anyway, in go the beers. And I have to say that I am absolutely amazed at how much cold air is coming off this thing. I love it. And with that, I'm off to a barbecue with 6 icy cold beers. You little ripper. Oh, just one more quick thing. Let's just give the old cap catcher a test. Absolute genius. Now that's what I call a cracking little project and just in time for Christmas. Great tip, knackers! Now if you want to see more videos like the one you just watched, I'll leave a link to my Catapult beer bottle opener, which should be popping up over there anytime soon. Hope to see you there shortly. It's a fun one. Alrighty, after all that, I might duck off for a cold one. Cheers.